Hey guys, welcome to the channel. If you're new, welcome back. If you're a subscriber, special thanks to all of my patrons. My name's Neil, and it's time for the next episode of University Challenge. We only have 2 matches left in the second round. This is episode 23 featuring, let me see here, Birmingham versus St. Andrews. No more Cambridge schools, no more Oxford schools in this round. 3 Cambridge schools have made it through. No Oxford colleges have. We're left with independent universities at this point. There's some heavy hitters that have already made it through, so I'm going to be curious to see if there's any more that sort of live up to that really high standard where they score 250 plus and just kind of demolish the competition even in this second round. So let's give it a go and see what this episode has in store. We all know the rules, so let's get right to it. Fingers on buzzers, please. Starter for 10.
Now, it's fair to say that the team from the University of Birmingham had something of a walkover against the University of Sussex in their first round match. At the gong, they had a score of 245 points, the second highest from those first fixtures. Now, it was a rather different story for the team from St. Andrew's University, who just scraped a victory over Emmanuel College, Cambridge, winning by 140 points to their opponent's 135. So fingers on the buzzers, here's your first starter for 10. Marlow, Maidenhead, the Civil Service, the Hampstead Heathens, the Royal Engineers, Upton Park and Crystal Palace were among the first entrants in 1870.
Birmingham McParland.
The FA Cup.
The FA Cup is correct, yes. Lackland and Soft Sword were nicknames of which Plantagenet king?
Yeah, King John, yeah.
King John.
Correct. Known as the Great, which Welsh prince allied with the baronial opponents of John, thereby influencing the king's signing of the Magna Carta?
Could it be Llewellyn?
Is it Rodri?
Oh, there's a Rodri the Grace.
Rodri.
Yeah, you're right, John.
Rodri?
It was Llewellyn.
Oh, wonderful.
After John's repudiation of the Charter, which king of Scotland invaded Northumberland and besieged Norham Castle?
Or Duncan, maybe?
Duncan.
Or Malcolm. It's going to be one of those, I think.
Oh, yeah. I think it's later than that, though.
It's 1200s, isn't it? So.
James I of Scotland.
David the First?
It's Alexander II. Along with Joan Hamilton, who co-wrote the 2009 book Smart on Crime, considered a model for dealing with recidivism. Her 2019 memoir, The Truths We Hold, An American Journey, appeared some 18 months before she became the first black woman to appear on a major US party's national ticket.
Birmingham Bartel.
Kamala Harris?
Correct. You get a set of bonuses on Australian states with an area of around 227,000 square kilometres. Which Australian state is smaller than the UK by about 17,000 square kilometres?
Tasmania?
Or Victoria's pretty small too.
Let's say Tasmania.
I think so.
Tasmania?
No, it's Victoria. At 1.7 million square kilometres, Queensland is slightly larger than which country? The second largest in the Middle East after Saudi Arabia.
Is this going to be
Iran?
I'd say Iran is probably the second.
Yeah.
Iran?
Iran is correct. At about 2.5 million square kilometres, which state is a little smaller than Kazakhstan?
Western Australia.
Kazakhstan's huge. Western Australia.
Correct. Born in 1839, which composer's works include a symphonic poem inspired by Gogol's story...
St. Andrews Alderson.
Brahms.
No, you lose 5 points. Inspired by Gogol's story St. John's Eve, an opera about the Russian Tsar from 1598 to 1605, and a piano suite based on the artworks of Victor Hartmann.
Mussorgsky.
Mussorgsky is correct, yes. Right, these bonuses are on botanical terms. Firstly, what term denotes specialised structures of epidermal origin that are found on plant lichen or algal surfaces? They are usually shaped like hairs, but can also appear as scales, buds or papillae.
Philia?
Villi?
No, they're trichomes. Secondly, a term derived from the Greek for young shoot and used to describe an undifferentiated plant body. It can consist of the single cell in its simplest form.
Germ?
Yes, meristem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meristem?
No, it's thallus or thallome. Also known as a rootstock, a horizontal underground stem that can send out roots and leafy shoots. Edible examples include ginger and turmeric.
Rhizome.
Rhizome.
Rhizome is correct, yes. You'll see the flags of 2 countries. For 10
Vatican
points, I want you
City
to tell me the language
and-
shared by both as the official or working language.
Latin.
Italian.
Italian is correct. It's
Oh,
San
okay.
Marino and the Vatican City.
Of course.
you'll see 3 more pairs of national flags
was
whose
stupid of
countries
me.
share official or national languages. In each case, I want the non-European language.
South Africa, Namibia, Afrikaans.
Swahili?
Xhosa?
No, it's Tswana. That's South Africa and Botswana.
It's Botswana.
Secondly, some helpful wording has been removed from the flags here.
Paraguay and...
Guarani?
Guarani is correct.
Well done.
It's Paraguay and Bolivia, as you identified. And finally, a short single word is sufficient here.
Malay.
Arabic?
It could be Malay.
Malay is correct. What now familiar equation resulted from ideas in a paper entitled Does the Inertia of a Body Depend upon its Energy Content? Published in a German language scientific journal in
Birmingham
1905.
Robinson.
E equals MC squared.
That is correct, yes. Your bonuses are on French composers. All 3 surnames begin with the same letter. Born in 1842, a prolific composer of operas. These include Manon, Werther, Le Cid, and Thais.
I don't know.
Bizet.
No, it's Massenet. Secondly, a member of the group known as the Six, born in 1892. His compositions include the ballet The Creation of the World and the 2-piano suite Scaramouche.
Milo.
Mio is correct. Born in 1908, the composer of Quartet for the End of Time and The Awakening of the Birds, and the opera St. Francis of Assisi.
Maghreb.
Pass.
It's missing. Answer promptly, giving any 2 of the 3 rhyming words defined respectively as a prickly-headed plant of the genus Dipsacus, a slender, aggressive
Thistle.
carnivore of the European mustelid family, and a fuel oil named after the German inventor of an
Weasel and diesel.
Weasel, Diesel, and Teasel is the other one, of course, to count. Your bonuses this time are on November the 9th in different years in German history. Firstly, Kaiser Wilhelm II was deposed, Philipp Scheidemann proclaimed a republic from the Reichstag, and Karl Liebknecht proclaimed a socialist republic from the Berlin Palace.
So that's pre-armistice, so it wouldn't have been deposed yet. So it must be like 1919.
No, it was 1918. Secondly, the ending
Pre-armistice.
of the beer hall putsch in Munich. Adolf Hitler's arrest followed 2 days later.
1933?
Late 20s.
No, 20.
Was the beer hall put that early? Yeah, I guess it was before he was elected.
1928.
No, it was 1923.
That long
November
ago.
the 9th of what year is regarded as marking the fall of the Berlin Wall?
89?
89 sounds right.
Correct, well done. What given name is shared by the authors of the 19th century poems No Coward Soul Is Mine and Because I Could Not Stop for Death?
Emily.
Emily is correct, yes. Born in 1853, which Dutch physicist gives his name to a factor used in relativistic dynamics equal to 1 over the square root of 1 minus v squared over c squared?
What's that
It's
one?
the gamma factor.
Landau? No.
Planck isn't Dutch.
Yeah, just go Landau.
No, it's Lorentz. The Lorentz factor, usually given the symbol gamma, appears in several formulae for relativistic equivalence to classical physical quantities. What quantity is given by the formula gamma minus 1 times mc squared?
Relativistic energy.
No, it's kinetic energy. And finally, what quantity is given by gamma mv?
Momentum.
Momentum is correct. Its name meaning cold coast. What archipelago in the Arctic Ocean is one of the most northerly land regions on Earth and comprises a group including Edge Island, Barents Island, and Spitsbergen?
Svalbard.
Svalbard is correct. The citation noting, quote, her unmistakable poetic voice that with austere beauty makes individual existence universal. Who was awarded the 2020 Nobel Prize in Literature?
That's Louise Gluck.
Gluck, yeah. Louise Gluck.
Louise Gluck is correct. Secondly, a 1985 collection by Gluck and more recent prose work by Madeline Miller both have what warrior of Greek mythology as their title figure?
Hippolyta?
Achilles.
Achilles is correct. And finally, overlooking Yerevan, the Armenian capital, what mountain is the single word title of a 1990 collection by Gluck?
I mean, you guess Ararat.
Okay, that's
No.
what Ararat.
Well,
Ararat is correct, yes.
I guess you can see Ararat from Yerevan, but I wouldn't say it overlooks.
Your music starter, you're going to hear a piece of classical music. For 10 points, name its composer.
St. Andrew's Alderson.
Beethoven.
No?
Birmingham Bartel.
Bach.
It is Bach. It's part of the Goldberg area. Your bonuses are 3 more recordings from this studio. Firstly, this French composer, Vladimir Horowitz, is the soloist.
Debussy.
Debussy is correct. Secondly, this US composer, who is also leading this recording.
Okay, so this is going to be Reich or John Cage. Oh, I think it is Glass. Philip Glass.
No, it's not. It's Terry Riley. Finally, this composer, Rudolf Serkin, is the soloist.
Nope. Ugh.
Is that Tchaikovsky?
Maybe. Or
Rimsky-Korsakov?
Shostakovich.
No, it's Beethoven. It's his 8th piano sonata. Of the rival sportswear manufacturing companies founded in the 1940s, one by...
Birmingham Robinson.
Adidas and Puma.
Correct.
Though there were 2 brothers there, right?
In each case, I will give a physical quantity and you will name the chemical element whose symbol is that of the SI-derived unit corresponding to that quantity. For example, force would be nitrogen because force is measured in newtons, represented by capital N. First, what element is indicated in this way by capacitance?
So that's F. Fluorine.
Fluorine is correct. And inductance?
Is it Henry? Is Henry inductance or is that? I think it is.
Sounds
Henry.
hydrogen.
Yeah, hydrogen.
Correct. And finally, power.
What?
What?
So
So
W,
WD
tungsten.
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 Tungsten is correct because watt has...
Oh, they did that well.
Which former UN trust territory in the Pacific is the world's smallest republic?
St. Andrews
Nauru.
Alderson.
Nauru.
Nauru is correct. Your bonuses are on terms that begin with the same 4 letters. The title of a 1710 work by Leibniz as a concept, it may be summarized as, why does an all-knowing, all-powerful and beneficent God permit evil?
Theodiki?
Okay. Theodike.
Theodicy is what it's usually known as, yes. From a term meaning food of the gods, an alkaloid
Theo.
found in cocoa and hence chocolate.
Theophagi.
No, theobromine.
Oh, sorry.
Its name of uncertain derivation, a basic surveying instrument. It is
Theodolite.
used to measure horizontal and vertical angles.
Theometer? No.
No. Theodolite.
Theometer.
No, it's theodolite. In terms of its radius r, what is the ratio of the volume of a solid hemisphere to its surface area?
St. Andrews Fennel.
2/3.
No?
Birmingham Bartel.
1/3.
No, it's 2/9. Since independence from Britain in 1962, which landlocked country's rulers have included Milton Obote, Yoweri Museveni?
Birmingham Robinson.
Uganda.
Uganda is correct. Well done. Who was the first person to win the Best Director Oscar in successive years for The Grapes of Wrath and How Green Was My Valley in 1940 and 41?
John Ford.
John Ford is correct. Joseph L. Mankiewicz won the Best Director Oscar in successive years for A Letter to Three Wives. And which film of 1950? Anne Baxter was nominated for her performance as the title character.
All About Eve.
All About Eve.
Correct. Who won the Best Director Oscar in successive years in the 2010s for Birdman and The Revenant?
Iñárritu. Iñárritu.
Iñárritu is correct. 190 metres in height, the neo-futurist residential building known as the Turning Torso is in which city a little southeast of Copenhagen?
Malmö.
Malmo is correct. You get a set of bonuses on ducks. Also called sawbill, the name of which diving duck derives in part from the Latin meaning goose.
There's a duck called a goosander. Could be that.
Goosander?
From Latin for goose, though.
What's the Latin for goose now?
Goosander?
No, it's a merganser. What word ending in ing is applied to surface-feeding ducks such as the mallard?
It's a dabbling duck.
Oh, nice.
Dabbling is correct. The binomial Anas acuta refers to the tapering feature that gives which dabbling duck its common name?
What's the tapering feature?
What about a
Pintail.
moorhen? Moorhen.
No, it's nothing like a moorhen, it's a pintail. Oh. Now, for your picture starter, you're going to see a painting. Name the artist.
Gauguin.
Birmingham Bartel.
Van Gogh.
It was Van Gogh.
Ugh. I get Gauguin and Van Gogh mixed up all the time.
Name the artist in each case. Firstly, this 20th century portrait of a clinical psychologist.
I don't recognize the style.
Beckman had faces like that.
like the family.
It's a little Munchian,
let's
but
see.
I don't think it's
Do you want
him.
to go with that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Max
It's too
Beckman.
flat.
That's Otto Dix. Secondly, this work from a series produced in the 19th century.
Jericho.
Jericho is correct. Finally, this 15th century work.
So is this going to be Giotto?
Oh, man.
Van Eyck.
No, it's Hieronymus Bosch, Cutting the Stone.
Yes.
Automated external, or AED, implantable cardioverter, or ICD, and wearable cardioverter, or WCD.
Pacemakers?
Now you lose 5 points. They're all types of what medical device?
Defibrillator.
Defibrillator is correct, yes. The halide minerals are compounds that consist of metals and a halogen element. They include fluorite, a compound of which metal and which halogen?
Sodium fluoride?
Calcium? No. No.
Calcium fluoride.
Is the...
Fluoride
No.
and aluminum.
That's calcium and fluorine.
Oh, my bad.
From the Greek for frost, what name is given to the halide mineral sodium aluminium fluoride, used as a solvent in the electrolytic production of aluminium?
Yeah, the Greek name for frost. Any Greek?
Bauxite? I know bauxite's used in making aluminum, but not as a
Pass.
solvent.
It's cryolite. The halide mineral sylvite is a chloride of what metal?
Silver?
Silver.
It's potassium. Similar in meaning to pastoral, what word derives from the Greek for herdsman and denotes a form of literature that includes Virgil's eclogues and Shakespeare's The Winter's...
Georgic.
Now you lose 5 points.
Romance.
No, it's bucolic. Elizabeth of Valois and Philip II of Spain are characters in which opera, first performed in Paris in 1867 and based on a play by Schiller?
Don Carlos.
It is Don Carlos by Verdi, yes. You get 3 questions on fictional political movements. Described as a big chap with the sort of eye that can open an oyster at 60 paces, Roderick Spode is the leader of the fascist Black Shorts in the works of which comic writer?
P.G. Wodehouse.
Correct. First published in 1928, the novel Point Counterpoint features the Brotherhood of British Freemen, led by Everard Webley. Who was the author?
Somerset Maugham.
Jeremy Paxman.
And I certainly wasn't alive in 1928. It's Aldous Huxley.
Huxley.
In Orwell's 1984, Ingsoc is described as the prevailing philosophy of which totalitarian state?
Oh.
Oceania.
Oceania is correct. In terms of the initial letters of the English names of European countries and their capitals, if D is C and P is both W and L, what is H?
B.
A.
No, it's B. Budapest. Hungary is Budapest.
B.
B is correct, Budapest. Yes. Officially opened in 1937, which museum occupies the former Royal Hospital School building in Greenwich, southeast London?
Oh, is this the Florence Nightingale Museum?
No, it's the National Maritime Museum.
Oh, of course.
And that was gone.
Another demolishment.
Birmingham, congratulations to you. We shall look forward to seeing you in the quarterfinals. And it's goodbye from me. Goodbye.
I know I hold myself to a high standard, but I do feel crummy if I don't get more than 3 or 4 right in an episode. And I'm sorry if there's long stretches of me just staring dumbfounded at the screen, because my knowledge of classical music, my knowledge of British history, London-specific geography are very limited. So yeah, there's just massive gaps in my knowledge for something that's very UK-centric like this. Nevertheless, it's fun, and I do like learning, and I do feel like I'm absorbing stuff as these quizzes go along. So, you know, if I binge through some early seasons, I might be in decent shape by the time season 52 rolls around. But it is a lot of fun, and I thank you guys for joining me. Yeah, I think we've seen probably I'd call it. There's at least 3 powerhouse teams out there. Between Birmingham, Reading had a really good, really strong showing. Who else did? Trinity, Cambridge, and there was one other. I feel like Edinburgh put in. So I wouldn't be surprised if those are our final 4. Edinburgh, Trinity, Reading, and Birmingham. But anything can happen. I think what we're doing right now in this second round is sort of weeding out those teams that got a little bit lucky with the draw in the first round, where two lower teams were matched up against each other and somebody had to win. We're losing those teams by the wayside now, and unfortunately they're often getting stomped by a powerhouse of a team. And that happened again here. Thank you guys for joining me. As always, I'd love to hear your comments. Feel free to mock me for my pronunciation or lack of knowledge about obvious questions. But also don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. The more you guys react to my reactions, the more I know that this is something you want to continue to see. So until next time, everybody, take care, stay healthy, and goodbye from me. Cheers.